Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. Guess what? Today we're going to do potatoes. And by do potatoes, I mean I'm going to show you the basics of how to cut potatoes and the different ways we cut them and the different ways that we use them. So what I have here, I have got a bowl of potatoes. And these potatoes are just ordinary russet potatoes. They're nothing fancy, although all potatoes are special, okay? All right, and I've got a peeler. Got this peeler, which is very sharp. And if you watch the carrot video that I made on the basics, I featured this little thing here. It's sharp. And I've got a large knife right here. And I have a paring knife. And I have a common ordinary potato peeler. This is the cheapest one of the bunch. Now, here's the deal. I normally peel my potatoes like this, okay, with my paring knife. That's how I feel more comfortable. It works quickly for me. Some people don't feel comfortable with using this because they're afraid to cut themselves. Truth be told, I have cut myself more on this than I have this. So, but some people like to use this. It's a little easier on the hand and the wrist, especially if you're doing a lot of potatoes, but like I said, it's very sharp. And some people prefer this. I have used this, but I've just peeled my potatoes with a paring knife for so long. It's just habit and very comfortable. But you can use this, and I recommend if you're going to have a child help you peel potatoes, give them this, okay? Because this really is pretty safe. They can hold on to the potato and peel it, and it's pretty safe. This here requires a different way. You can't do this with it, but you kind of have to hold it and do this, okay? And that's why I've cut myself. And it's very painful because this is very sharp. So, it's up to you. There are some choices out there, and you know what? You may know of some choices that I don't. Okay? All right. So, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just simply show you how I peel a potato. Okay? Let's come down here on my handy-dandy trusty cutting board. Back up there a little bit, and I'll show you how I do it. Now, I just simply take my potato and hold it firmly in my hand, and then I just start at the top and work my way down, okay? It's pretty easy, and that's really all there is to it. Now, the one disadvantage with this is you may not be able to get your peel it as thin as you want, but you know what? With practice, it works pretty good. And I'm kind of showing you slowly here, but if I were peeling a lot of potatoes, which, believe me, I have peeled lots of potatoes in my day. My mashed potatoes are world famous, that's the reason. So, anyway, that's all you do. And the beauty of using this is you can, as you see those little spots, or like I just cut off a bad spot here, it's easy to just get it while you're peeling it. And if you use one of these other peels, it's not quite as quick to get those bad spots. But it's not that big of a deal. You know, it's not difficult. Okay, so now I have a peeled potato. And I'm going to peel a couple of more potatoes for demonstration purposes. And then we will be back. So don't go away. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, you know, because other people need to know this stuff too. Right? Right. Okay. I peeled 3 potatoes. And I have them rinse them really well, and I have them sitting in some cold water. And the reason I do that is because I don't want them to get discolored or start turning brown. The reason why your potatoes turn brown is when they're exposed to the air is because of the starch that is in the potatoes. And what I've noticed is the potatoes, the starchier they are, the more quickly they seem to discolor. Okay, now first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to show you how to dice a potato. And your potatoes can be a little bit rolly, so the main thing you want to do is make sure that you exercise caution. Find a nice flat spot on your board and just be careful, okay? All right, and make sure you protect your handies, because you know what? It's easier to work when you got some fingers here, so be careful. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to dice this potato. I'm simply going to break it down into manageable portions. So I'm just going to slice it. These are about, maybe half-inch slices. And you know, like I said, when you get to the end, just be careful. Just exercise caution. You're not running a race. You're not a professional. You're a home cook, okay? So, all right, now we've got our pieces that are kind of flat here. And so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to estimate, just do a quick look of how big you want your dice to be. Now, I'm just going to break this down into 3 portions. Again, manageable portions, right? And I'm just going to cut them. That's all. See? Now look. See what we have there? Now we have a diced potato. What can you use your diced potatoes in like this? You can use them, you can fry these. These are, so good fried. You can deep fry these very quickly. They make just wonderful. The other day I used this type of potato and I made a potato tacos. Wonderful. You can put them in soup because these are bite-sized pieces. You can put these in, make a beautiful potato soup. This is my preferred way to make a potato soup with the diced portions. So you can do that with them. Now, see, just gauge how big you want your pieces to be and just do it however you wish. You know, you're the boss. So it just depends on what your needs are. So, but stop and think. And also potato salad. When I make potato salad, I boil my potatoes whole like this, and then once they cool down, I cut them like this, and sometimes even smaller for my potato salad. So it just depends on what you're using them for. Okay, that's how you dice a potato. Now we're going to slice a potato. Let's slice a potato. And why do we want slices of potatoes? Now see these little brown spots? That does not mean a bad potato. That's just a little bruise there. It's not going to hurt anything. I mean, if that offends you, take it out, but it's perfectly fine. Okay, so now we're going to slice a potato. And there's a couple of different ways we could slice a potato. We could cut this in half and then slice it that way, or we can slice it in medallions. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. Now let's just take this, and again we're going to protect our fingers, and I'm slicing it. Now you can slice the potato as thick as you want. See, I would use that for, say, scallop potatoes, au gratin potatoes, fried potatoes, those kinds of things. But you can also make them thicker if you want to just roast a pan of potatoes but you don't want to take a long time. Just cut them thicker like this, and that works great, just to put them on a roasting pan with some butter or olive oil. Okay? All right. Now you notice whenever, I'm going to cut this one again, but you notice whenever, see, look, isn't that great? And you can also slice them as thin as you want. If you want to slice it thinner, slice it thinner. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. See, I can slice that in half again. But just decide early on how you want them to be. Now, I'm putting these in cold water because I don't want them to discolor. And now I'm going to show you something that's kind of fun. You can make your own French fries. So I'm going to show you how to make your own French fries. Now, this time we're going to slice our potatoes lengthwise, like this. And slice them as thick as you want your fries to be, okay? If you want them thinner, like shoestring fries, then make them thinner. I'm just simply trying to show you something. That you know what? You don't need special equipment to do this. You can do this with your knife. Look at that. It's a French fry! Wow, that's pretty fantastic. I make homemade fries all the time. I do love the convenience of the frozen fries, and if they're on sale, I might get some. But normally, I always have potatoes in my house. I love potatoes. So, I don't necessarily have to have a bag of French fries. Excuse me. Alright. There, look at that. We have French fries. And you remember how we diced, remember? We did the dice on the fries. Choop, 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 choop. See how easy? Easy, easy, easy. Alright. Now you know how to do French fries. Aren't you excited? So what did we do right here? We have French fries. We have sliced potatoes. We have diced potatoes. We're making some good progress here. All right, now I'm going to set these aside, and then we're going to get to our potatoes with the peel on. All right, I've got my potatoes with the peel on, and I have scrubbed them. This is a really nice brush, which I showed you on my carrot video. It's great. It is a vegetable brush to scrub your vegetables. But you can just scrub them by hand. It's no big deal. Now I want to show you something. This water was clear. And now that I have my potatoes in there, you see how the water's starting to become cloudy? That's because the starch in the potatoes. And all we have to do to remove that is just drain this off, rinse the potatoes that we've processed really well, and the water will be clear. And in actuality, you can prepare your potatoes ahead of time. Keep them in some ice water after they have been rinsed completely of their starches, so your water's clear, and you can keep them covered in your refrigerator, for a couple of days. And so you're not rushed on food preparation day or holidays. Okay? All right. So now, what are we going to do with this nice big potato here? With this potato, this is the kind or the size of potato you want to use for a baking potato. And all you have to do is make sure that it's in good condition. Poke it with a fork or a knife. It's not difficult. I'm just take my paring knife here and put a little oil on there, put them on a baking sheet, and bake your potatoes. It's very easy to do. That is one way to process and to make potatoes. And put them in the microwave if you want to. If I'm going to microwave one, that's not really considered a baked potato, but if you put it in the microwave, I just wrap it up in paper towel, stick it in the microwave, and until it's nice and soft, and it's delicious. Okay, so that is one thing that you can do with your potato. You can use a potato with the peel on it exactly the way you have done these, okay? But you don't have to peel your potatoes to slice them to make fries. Most of the time, when I'm making fries, I don't peel the potatoes. Because by the time you've sliced your potato, there really isn't that much of that peel that is showing anyway. Okay? This is one thing I love to do. This is one way I like to make potatoes, and it's an easy way to cut the potatoes. All I do, I want to roast, let's say I want to roast, make a pan of roasted potatoes. I simply cut the potato in half, gives me a nice flat surface, and then I want a large cooking area for my roasted potatoes. So I will cut them long ways like this. Now you see that there? We can cut that off. It isn't an issue. Just cut it off. And you know there's a lot of nutrients in the potato peel itself. So, and why do I do this? Because it gives more surface area when you're roasting a potato. Have a big baking sheet with this full of potatoes, maybe some carrots, other vegetables on there. It gives a nice cooking surface, and it also makes it easier to flip and turn your potatoes. It's wonderful if you pour some olive oil on this and some garlic and salt and pepper and roast these. They are delicious, so easy, no muss, no fuss. And because we're not peeling our potatoes, we're not going through that step either. So see there? And then, like I said, this little thing like that right there, it's not, you know, it's not a big deal. Just cut it off. That's all. If it's unpleasant for you. Now, you can keep potatoes for a long time in a cool, dry place, but let me tell you, if your potatoes they smell like something you have never smelled in your whole entire life, they are rotten and you need to throw them away. Ugh, it is bad. All right, so I'm gonna put these potatoes in the water too, because I don't want them to turn dark. And I want to show you this potato. See how wrinkly this little guy is? Because he's an older one of the bunch. But that's okay. He's still good. I can still use him. And if you're going to roast the potatoes like this, try to make sure that your potatoes are close to the same size. If they're not, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Don't stress over that stuff. But this potato is still usable. If you take this little wrinkly little potato here and you boil him up, it makes wonderful, wonderful potato salad. Or you can just use it for anything. Seriously, it's still good. Don't get rid of this potato, okay? All right. So, we're not going to get rid of him. We are going to cut him up. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to peel him just this once. I'm going to peel him. And I'm going to show you how I cut potatoes to cook for, let's say, to boil for mashed potatoes. And this is pretty easy to do. Aren't you glad you get to see me peeling a potato twice? I'm just so generous with you. Oh my gosh. This is like watching paint dry. Really, it is. Okay. Give him a little rinse in here. Get rid of the peel. Do you know there are some recipes you can use your potato peel and make appetizers out of these? I'm telling you, the potato is like this most fantastic thing in the whole world. I love it. All right, so all I do, and actually I don't even use this. I just use this. I just cut it in half and cut it like this, and then I just cut it in quarters. And that's what I use to boil my potatoes. You can cut them however you want. That's just the way I do it. Now, here is a box shredder. If you don't have a box shredder, get a box shredder. It's just so inexpensive. I mean, it is so cheap. You can buy fancier ones with a non-skid bottom here and all that. You can buy that if you want to. That's fine. It's your preference. You can spend as much or as little as you want. This is cheap. My old one finally just bit the dust, so I picked this up at the Dollar Tree. I mean, it's just easy. Just, you got to have one of these. Great for your cabbage, your carrots, anytime you want to shred something. Some of us do not have food processors. I don't. And it's just something else. It would be something else for me to keep in the house and try to find storage for. I just use simple tools. Okay, so I'm going to show you with the peel on. I'm going to show you how easy it is to shred. Now make sure that you have some stability there, okay? And we're just simply going to shred the potato up and down, no big deal. And look, just when you shred, make sure that you don't allow some room so that you're not shredding your pinkies. That's not good in food. So that's all that is. That's the shredding portion. What can we use this for? We can use this for hash browns, latkes, potato pancakes. It's just wonderful. So that's the good way that we can use our shredder. I'm going to put these in the cold water. The smaller the potato, like the shreds, the faster they will turn brown. So it's very important to get them in your cold water as soon as you can. All right, now, let's say you would like to make your own potato chips. There's a nice little slicer on here, and you can make your own potato chips. But look, there's the shredder, the slicer. This is a grater, and this is a smaller grater, like for lemon rind, citrus fruit, etc. Very small. So, and these are just easy to wash. They're so easy to wash. It's just ridiculous, and they don't take up that much space. Okay, so now I've got my potato here, and I'm simply going to slice it. Now this takes a little bit more elbow grease, but take your time. It's not that big of a deal. And what you can use this for is, you can use it for potato chips or fried potatoes. I'm telling you, these are delicious. You would be surprised. Once you make your own potato chips, you're going to wonder why they charge you so much money for potato chips in the supermarket. Because with one large potato, you can get a whole batch of potato chips, more than what you get in the bag. So you're going to be surprised. But take these, put them in some hot oil, fry them up, and you have fresh, hot potato chips. Okay? All right. So that's another thing that you can do. And like I said, you can use these for fried potatoes. Fried potatoes cut that thin cook up in no time. They get very crispy and lovely. So, all kinds of things that you can do with that. Another way that you can make your potato chips is you can use this. And this works pretty well, except that I really have cut myself. Okay? It does work well, but you've got to be very, very cautious with this thing, because otherwise, you will cut yourself. I'm just warning you. Can't say you weren't warned. Okay. See, all that does, it just makes it prettier. It makes a more uniform potato versus this sliced potato. Okay? All right. So that is, I think, that's pretty much it. All I wanted to show you today. But just keep in mind that you can do your potatoes ahead of time, and you can keep them in some ice cold water. Matter of fact, if you put some ice in your bowl with your ice water, you will be fine. Now these are going to get rinsed again. There, just to show you, I rinsed these in the colander really well. I covered them up with cold water again, and look how clear the water is now. That's because that starch has been released, and now if I want to, I can take these and I can put them in a covered bowl, cover them with some ice water again, put them in my refrigerator, and they'll be fine for a couple of days until I'm ready to use them. Okay? All right. Listen. Oh, and just one more thing I want you to know. If you want to freeze your potatoes, don't freeze them like this. Do not freeze them raw. Blanch them in some very hot water, then immerse them in some ice water, drain them really well, and then you can freeze them, okay? For whatever you want to use, whether it's fries. I wouldn't recommend freezing them whole, but if you're going to, you want to do some food prep ahead of time, by all means, you can do that. But I don't recommend freezing them raw. That will not have a good result. Okay? All right. Listen, I love you. Thanks for joining me. If I can do it, you can do it, okay? And you just remember that little is much when God is in it. Okay? All right. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.